Shape 5 is important to get the same thing we did in shape 4. Point 2, point 3 need to be where the curves aren't. Okay, so where one curve ends and the other curve ends is where 2 goes. The same is true for 3. So we're going to start with just pull clicking to 2. Okay, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to pull click to 2. So you can see that I kind of left the handlebar on the fat side of the curve, on the outer part of the curve. Now, let's go over here and you can see I need to find where the flat part of the curve is. I'm pretty darn close right there, and I'm going to pull click till 2 o'clock again. Now I go over here, find the same thing where the curves meet and there's no curve. Now try to be a little picky with that. Of course you can move it later. And there is your top shape right there. Now, right here where this curve meets the straight edge, somewhere in here, we're going to pull till 5 o'clock. Somewhere like that, right about there. Okay, now go down to the bottom, Brian. Let's move it down here. It says pull click straight down to 6. So okay, I'll pull click straight down to 6. Then it says Option or Alt pull click to 8 o'clock. So if this is 7, this is about 8 o'clock. Again, see how I don't leave it on the inside of the curve, I leave it on the outside of the curve, and I make sure the handlebar is kind of laying on the curve. Okay, now let's go over here to where it says pull click to 2. This one's going to look really bad at first. Okay, so pull click to about 2 o'clock, right about like this. Then Option pull click or Alt pull click to about 11 o'clock, right about there. Now we go way over here. This one's a hard one. Like, where do the curves meet? This curve right here meets approximately to that curve, and you can almost be better if you say, well, where does this curve end? Where does this bottom curve end? And I'm right about where it ends right now, and it says pull click till 8 o'clock. Again, if we have a problem, we'll split the handlebars here. Okay, not a big deal. So we'll go over to this one. It says pull click till 2, right there again. Then it says Option or Alt pull click till 8. Remember, leave it on the fat side of the curve. Now we have a little one where a little curve meets another little curve. It's about right there. So we pull click till 8 o'clock. We now try to find where the curve meets the straight edge. And I know this one's hard, so what? So now we pull till 12. Pull up straight to 12. Now we go here and we re-click the point because we don't need this handlebar. See where it says re-click right there? Re-click the point and now shift click on point 1, which is going to mess up that top curve. Okay, don't worry about it. Actually take the direct select tool and just fix the curve temporarily. Okay, so grab that handlebar and fix it. Don't edit it yet. Now let's make the page bigger because we have all of our stuff there. And let's Command S or Control S to save. And let's fix our points. So now let's take this point. I'm going to Command Z back because I wanted you to make sure that I clicked away from it. I click back on that point. See how Illustrator lets you know where the point is? So I click and I move it. Now I pick it up and I move it right back in position. Now I'm pretty sure that I have this one over here pretty correct. So I'm going to leave it. I'm also pretty sure that I have this one pretty correct. Now if it was up here or if it was down here, I would put it in the center. Okay? And I'm pretty sure that I have this one correct. Like, it's supposed to be about right there, because anything higher than that, I'm still on that curve, right? And if I have to, as I said, I'll split that handlebar because it'll be okay. Now let's go down here. This one's pretty on. That one's pretty on. So let me move it away and let me move it back. Save the file. Notice I save the file all the time. Now I'm going to move this one away over here, and I'm going to move it back. Okay, now let's go over here, and look, I have to take this one, move it away, and now move it back into the center. Now let's go over here, and let's now move this one away, and now move it back right there Remember, you're doing this with the direct select tool. Now let's go over to here and pull this one away. And now let's figure out again where this bottom curve ends and the top curve begins. It's right there. It's right approximately there. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, again, we can split the handlebars. Now this one I didn't do very well on, so I'm pulling it away and I'm going to put it back. Maybe a little farther down. Okay, save the file, Brian. Now let's just start with this one because I'm right here. So now let's make this shorter, and now let's bring this one over a little bit like this, a little bit down, and now that one's good. Now, why don't I, just for the sake of not ruining this bottom one, let me fix it a little bit better. Why don't I cheat and split the handlebar for a second, right? Then it won't hurt the bottom curve. See, if I move this one up here to the left, it ruins the bottom curve. So I'm going to Command Z back or Control Z back. So I'll temporarily go to the anchor point tool. I'll just split it a little bit. Okay, now I'll go back to the direct selection tool and I'll finish the edit. Oh my gosh, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? I mean, that was pretty darn easy. And do you notice how I stayed within 5 degrees of parallel? So there's no bump on that line right there. Actually, there is a little bump on the line. So, no, there's not. I'll just move it over slightly. Okay, and that's better. Okay, now let's go over here. Let's take this one. And now when I touch this one here, I'm going to split it. But I don't have to split this one. This one's going to cause a little bit of pain for you. Okay, because I want you to see and remember that the handlebar kind of needs to lay on that curve right here. Now the rest of it is going to be fixed with this. So I'll fix it for right now. I'll get it in about the right place. So this one goes shorter. Okay, and this one goes a little farther down, and a little farther down, and a little farther down, and a little in. Okay, and this one now is going to go a little bit down, and this one's going to go a little bit out. Okay, so see how I have that one pretty darn good? Okay, now what I want to do is fix this bottom one, of course. So I'm going to just come up a little bit with it, like this, and a little bit more like this. And now this one, boy, that one's a little bit of a pain, but I got it pretty good. Now, so I don't ruin it, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the Convert tool, and I'm going to grab this one. Now that's more than 5 degrees off parallel from the other handlebar, this one over here, and this one is more than 5 degrees parallel, more than too much. But anywhere in here, I'm okay. Now watch how this one actually forms. This one actually has a gentle uptick. So I go to the direct select tool and I pull this one straight up and I've almost got it. See, I've almost got it. So now let's go down a little bit. Oh, doggone it. Okay, down a little bit and over, and now that's really close. Okay, now that might mean I have this in the wrong place. So what I'm going to do is bring this one down here and match up this part of the curve. Let me explain to you what I'm doing. I'm going to bring this one down so that I get this part of the curve here where I'm pointing correct. Now I can lift this up, and you can see how I can get that to be just about right. So that's how to do it. All right, and now and I'm still not getting it very well. There, I've almost got it. Gosh, that was close. Okay, there we go. Now, that's pretty successful. Now I want you to practice. And what was the key? The key was splitting these handlebars here. So I go over here. I don't have to split that handlebar. I just have to make sure that this lays on the curve right here. And now I should be able to just pull this one out and have this one be pretty darn close. Actually, I pulled this upper one out too far. And a little bit down, a little bit in, and now this one's pretty darn good. Let's go over to what hopefully the easy part of the curve is. Let's go over here and pull this one up. Whoops. Let's go over here and pull this one up right about there. Pull this one to the, or push this one a little tiny bit to the left. And now go over here. Now I don't want to wreck this. So what do? You have to tell me again. What tool to split it? Anchor point. Go to the anchor point tool. Don't let it get 5 degrees off of parallel to this one that was up here. And now let's go back to the direct select. I'm going to split this one right now because I know it's going to need to be split. You see how I'm splitting this one? Now I can finish the whole thing with my handlebars being split, but maintaining my 5 degrees off of parallel. You don't want to make it more than 5 degrees off of parallel or you'll ruin it. And I'm not opposed to moving some of the points if I need to. So let's come up here. Okay, and now let's pull it down a little farther. So it's kind of like the top one's up there. Where does this one need to go? Up a little bit. And where does this one need to go? Down a little bit and up a little bit and down, up and down, up and down. I sound like a broken record. Okay, so there we go. That one's good. Now let's do the final one here. Let's pull this one down a little farther probably than we need, because this one's going to be what? Pull it farther than we need this way. So there. Now, guess what? Pull it more. And a little bit more. Okay, now probably pulled it too much. And now here. And a little bit down. Okay, good. And a little bit down and to the left. Ooh, that's almost got it. And there you go. So now that's close enough. I'm happy with that shape. You saw that I split this one here. 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 So I had 4 splits on this and it didn't hurt any of the geometry. If you get a kink in the line, as I said, if there's a big, like an obvious kink, then the point is in the wrong place. Again, try moving the point down a little or up a little, and you should be able to get rid of the kink. Let me go Command Z back twice, and we're done this shape. I'll see you in the next shape. I'm saving the file. Now I'll see you in the next shape.